How's it going?
Hello.
Long
How are
time
you?
no see. I'm
I know
good.
you're doing okay.
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. It's been, I was trying to think, it's probably been about 8 or 9 years since I've seen you in person.
Yeah, it's been a long time, but you know
You haven't aged at
we're
all.
uh, shocking, right? Well, we're so excited to officially get to talk to you about this
Appreciate it.
because man, Chadwick was a good friend to all of us, and to
Yeah,
have this kind of celebration for this film, and for it to be at the Dallas International Film Festival, so appropriate, you know.
exactly.
But just to get this out there in the world, just to share this beautiful music and this beautiful person with everybody
Mhm.
else who maybe didn't even get to meet him, sadly, it's got to be
Yeah.
just one of the great joys in life, right?
Yeah, for sure. I think that when I was filming it, I wasn't expecting to put out a documentary about Chadwick or really a full feature documentary about the film, like the whole band. Like it was really just a behind the scenes kind of making of the album piece. And once Chadwick passed, it just felt like it was the right thing to do. It was such the right thing to do, and to leave that legacy behind for Lennox, his son, and his widow Hannah, I think is a really beautiful opportunity that I got.
Hmm. And of course, the band is great for those of us in Dallas. We've been seeing them around for years and years in other bands, and it's for those that got to see the band. Just what a performance! What a great window of time to be able to
Oh
to
yeah,
to see. Not a band like this. A band like this doesn't come along very often, is what I mean.
they don't, and when the band approached me to kind of work with them in the very begin, like they were already kind of a cover band for a while. Then they started doing their own songs, and that's about when I met them. And I was like, well, the first thing I could do is just start filming the show. Like the show is what the band is really about. So when I did the documentary, we reached back in all of my hard drives and found these incredible show pieces, and I wove that through the documentary. It was almost kind of like I wanted to start it kind of like that song remains the same Led Zeppelin kind of vibe. That's what I was going for at first, and then I had to really kind of tell the story a little bit more. But yeah, there's some beautiful live footage in this that people will get to experience the band, especially if they never got to see them live.
Yeah. Well, and what's interesting about the way you put the film together is that I think for those that don't know the story, they kind of don't really know what's coming, you know.
Hmm.
But the good news is they get to know kind of the music and the people first, which is really great. But I mean, that's
Yeah,
obviously
for sure.
a decision you had to make as a director. Do we start it out, saying this is a celebration, or do you just kind of let them figure it out later, right?
Well, when I worked with the editor, I said, what do we have here? And he was like, we kind of have a story that follows what we did, kind of like from the time that we started filming them all the way until they went into the studio. And let's start thinking in that timeline. But yeah, it was an interesting, and this is being my first feature documentary to ever film. I've always produced or like been behind the scenes in a way, but this one I was like, okay, we got to figure out how to tell this story. And yeah, so hopefully we did that and gave it justice.
No, absolutely. And then, of course, this might be the bug that bit you. Are you thinking about another film right now?
For sure. Like I'm working on I've started production on one about a making of a band who's making their album. I got back in the studio kind of since capturing the
Yeah.
behind the scenes. But I just got asked recently to jump in on the Stark documentary that never got finished, and I started going through that footage, and hopefully, if I get the opportunity, I'm going to help bring that to life. And that's another awesome music Dallas story. It's like you can't beat that.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually had seen a cut of that before, and the footage is fantastic, and I think people will love it. And that's another time capsule to where if people weren't there, I wasn't there,
Right.
but but they can really enjoy not only the history, but it's more and more we get to appreciate how cool our town is and how much talent and how many interesting people come out of here, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Dallas has awesome, as you know, I mean, we've known each other for a long time and
Mm,
come up through some different music scenes and
yeah.
late night entertainment scenes. And Dallas has it all. I really believe that. But we have incredible music connection. And I think people um, here really connect with that. And now that the city's really grown up and become bigger, bigger bands like Bastards of Soul could really come out and do, great things. Look at Leon Bridges or any of those guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've had a really interesting career around here as well. And for those at home that don't know, you would give us some of the highlights because it's been fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I started out as the guy around Deep Ellum handing out flyers to get people to come and see his bands that nobody knew of. But I worked on some different music festivals in Dallas and different artists. I got lucky enough to work with Erica Badu for 10 years. Both I was a production manager and general manager of her company and her record label, Control Freak Records. And we got to tour a lot, and I did a lot of events, brought in all kinds of artists like Questlove and people like that. And I think we did some stuff together at Ghost Bar, didn't we? I think that kind of
Really?
rings a bell. But yeah, I think my career as I've gotten a little bit older, I'm moving towards film more. I've been doing a lot of content and commercials for, advertising, but I think kind of moving more into documentary and maybe narrative film is something that's kind of calling me. So I could see me marrying that with music.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, a lot of times we love to ask people about their advice, for, aspiring filmmakers or musicians or other things. And you've kind of done it all, do you have a general bit of, when someone's like, man, I want to have your, the kind of career that you have, someone that's younger and, wants to get out there. What do you tell them?
Well, I mean, if they're independent, I would tell them to diversify for sure, because you don't know when something's going to dry up. Like if you look at what happened with COVID, all the events in the world just stopped. And a lot of people in the event industry were like really hungry, and I got really lucky because I was kind of juggling film and music at the same time. And I also do creative direction and design work. So from there, I was able to kind of have a little side hustle to get me through that time.
Mhm.
And that's when I went to go work with EarthX and launched EarthX TV and did streaming and all that. But but yeah, I would say if you were inspiring to be in the music industry, definitely diversify. It's a new world out there. It's all about selling merchandise and content and concert tickets. Honestly, I mean, the music is definitely a driver, for publishing and things like that. But people just aren't making any money on the stream. It's the wild west out there right now with streaming.
It sure is. Well, of course, I've been co-hosting with Drew Pearson on one of our great Dallas
Yeah.
Cowboys. Caught the Hail Mary, win the Hall of Fame. We're so proud of him. And we always love to ask people their Hail Mary moment, which is that moment in your life or career where you just had to go for it and it worked out for you. So we got to get one from you.
Okay, so my Hail Mary moment. I've had a few in my career and I've had to reinvent myself a few times. But I think my very first Hail Mary moment was when I was working at a small music distribution company. Had a little, it was crystal clear sound, and there was a point in my career where I had a business partner I was working with on the side said, "You got to quit your job. If you want to do this, you got to walk away from that and make that jump." And that's when we had an opportunity to work with, I believe it was the Arts Magnet High School, and we put on the Chipotle concert for the arts. And I jumped and I did that full time, and I lost my butt. But it was one of those moments for sure where I that definitely kicked off my career in a good way.
Yeah. Well, and of course, there are many ups and downs, and we talk about that success mindset on the show. Is there something that you keep in mind that kind of keeps you on the right path even when things are tough? Because they do get tough.
Yeah, they do get tough. I mean, I just think you got to really believe in yourself and step back and kind of clear your head of those negative things that kind of swirl around, tell you that you can't do it. Or it's just so bad, or I'm going to go broke. You just got to kind of step back and take a deep breath and go, what is my reality today? And I think I get a lot of comfort in knowing that I have a really great network of friends and family, that I rely on for sure.
Absolutely. One of the great joys in the film, on a personal note, was seeing Matt
Yeah.
Pence get featured. Of course, he's been one of our great producers for many, many years around, and also, on a side note, produced the album of the band that I was in, the Far Star,
Yeah.
and just absolutely loved him. But he becomes a central figure here in the story, and I think it's also very interesting because this is someone that I think when people see the film, that this I think he's probably going to get a whole lot more production work because you see just how his brain works with every little detail and everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
He's such a passionate guy and so smart. I love Matt Pence, and he really brought the lot. He says some really meaningful things in this film that any artist, whether you're a musician or just any kind of creative, could really relate to and build from. But man, that guy is so smart and fun to work with, and that is definitely somebody you could look at and go, he's working in his genius. You know what I mean? Like that's what he does, and he does it really well. What a great guy.
yeah, absolutely. And then, of course, a great feature for a lot of other people that are just so talented here. But I think also, no matter if you're just an audience member or fellow musician, there's something that you can get out of here. And I think there is a message, although I don't know if that was meant to be the purpose. I think there is a message here of hope and of legacy despite bad situations, right?
Yeah, I think so too. I think yeah, it's definitely about legacy. And but one of our collaborators on the film, Susie Batiste, she's an executive producer on it. She really asked me to stop and think about the film on what the message could be in like one sentence. And I
Mhm.
tried to do that at the very beginning by saying, "Don't wait for tomorrow." Like chase your dreams fearlessly today because you don't know if tomorrow's ever going to come. And I think that for me, that's what this band was doing. They were just like going for it, coming out of COVID. Chadwick had everything on the line. He was ready to quit his job, and they were ready to go on tour. And the whole band was like considering that. And but thank God that they put it all, they put all their energy into this because they captured three incredible albums during that time that we've gotten to enjoy, and we caught all this footage of them. So don't wait for tomorrow for sure.
Love that. Well, last thing before we let you go, tell us where everybody can see the movie because we want everyone to check this out.
Yeah, for sure. So Dallas International Film Festival is doing the Texas premiere at the Texas Theater, which is a historic, awesome theater I've always dreamed about being in, and just being in the film festival is a trip for me. I've never thought I would have a film there, so I'm super honored. It's Saturday, April 27th. The screening is at 7. If you come
Mhm.
at 6, we're gonna have a little meet and greet. Afterwards, there'll be a Q&A after the screening, and then we're gonna have a party with the DJ and the band members will be there. It's definitely gonna be really cool. And hopefully, by fall, you'll see it on a streaming service of your liking.
Oh, that's great. Well, we're so proud of you for putting this out. Thank you for sharing not only the message but the music and the man. And we'll definitely look forward to what you have coming up next. But it's a pleasure to talk to you again, and we'll see you at the premiere.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate it.
Thank you so
Take
much.
care.
Appreciate you. Okay, bye bye.